You are too afraid to make bold commitments in your business. You think that if you use urgency, you're a manipulator. If you make a strong promise, you're overpromising. If you use a guarantee, you're opening yourself up to guarantee abuse. If you talk too much about your results, you're bragging. So all of your marketing is generic, it's forgettable, and ironically, it's less trustworthy. So in this video, we're going to talk about why some of the tactics that people call manipulative are actually some of the most profitable and necessary strategies to use to grow your business. If you guys want more clients, more sales, and marketing that actually works, you should subscribe because that's what all my videos are built to help you do. The first thing we need to talk about is the persuasion paradox. So everyone thinks that as soon as they deviate from very tame ads, this is my product, this is my service, maybe only contacting form opt-ins and using, just generally small language throughout their content, they immediately become a liar, a con artist, a scammer, or whatever. Now, I need you to understand that persuasion and manipulation are not the same thing. Persuasion is just helping someone make a decision, and manipulation is getting someone to make a decision by lying to them. And for whatever reason, marketers and business people today are either terrified to claim that their product or service does literally anything, or they claim that their product is the best thing that's ever touched the planet. Now, for example, you have agencies that are either claiming we can get you a 30x ROAS on ad spend, or they just say, we can run your ads. Now, you've also got e-commerce brands, let's say a skincare brand, they either say, our creams will erase your wrinkles in 24 hours, or they just say, we sell all natural face cream. Now, obviously, you can't make up ridiculous claims about what you're selling, and this is where you're going to get into legal trouble. But the irony of the other side is that it doesn't make your marketing any more ethical, and it doesn't make it any more effective either. It just makes it less useful. So in any niche or vertical, you have to understand the concept of offer decay. So anything that you're selling, over time is going to require substantially more proof and demonstrated experience to make the sale or to earn trust. Now, if your goal as a business owner, which it should be, is to impact and change the lives of as many people as you possibly can with your revolutionary idea, you cannot shy away from making claims and guarantees surrounding the thing that you're selling. So just think about it from the customer's point of view. The only things they care about are, can this business solve my problem? Have they done it before? And why should I trust them? If you don't confidently answer those questions, there is no reason for someone to choose you over a competitor. Okay, so the first real tactic we're going to talk about is ethical bragging. So everyone struggles with talking about themselves, whether you're a business owner or not. The long and short of this is that you can't be so afraid of bragging that you hide the evidence that a prospect or a customer needs to trust you. There's a huge difference between bragging for ego and bragging as evidence. So ethical bragging, as I'm deeming it, is not just look how successful I am, which ironically though, this is how you sell lifestyle related courses or products. It is saying though, here's why you can trust me. So if you've built 500 websites, if you've generated $10 million in pipeline, if you've managed millions of dollars in ad spend, if you've written direct response for 9-figure brands, if hundreds of people have used your skincare products and they've cured their major cystic acne, if hundreds of people have used your back massager and it's helped them with their chronic back pain, you have to say those things definitively and quantitatively. So not just, our company has been working in e-com for a long time and we've written lots of sales letters. Instead, you would say something like, we partnered with multiple 8-figure e-com brands in the health and wellness industry, writing sales letters for audiences of over 700,000 people, with our work selling over $110 million in products. Now you can apply that kind of structure to anything that you're selling. Experience is not just a function to impress people. It is there to reduce the general uncertainty around hiring you. Now, going on to explaining how to actually do this, the one piece of advice that you need to hear is just to replace adjectives with proof. So in the B2B world, your prospect is not looking for how you feel about your work. They're just looking for evidence that you can deliver results in their market, right? So instead of we're passionate about helping businesses grow, we would say we've helped over 100 local service businesses increase outbound leads by an average of 37% through whatever service. Now, on the e-commerce side, your new customer is not buying, at least for their first time, based on how much you care about your brand, right? They're buying based on whether your product solves a problem or delivers them some kind of value. So instead of we're passionate about creating insert product, we would say over 25,000 customers have purchased our skincare line with a 4.8 star average review and clinically tested results showing a 32% reduction in acne within 30 days. or whatever else it might be. You cannot force your customer to assume your competence. The more evidence you remove because you're trying to, appear humble or whatever, the more your customer is going to question your authority and the effectiveness of whatever the thing is that you're selling. The next tactic we're going to talk about is the use of scarcity and urgency. This is probably the most understood tactic ever. I think the internet loves to, pretend scarcity is unethical when a lot of times it's just information or a business decision. Fake scarcity is what is unethical. So if your agency only has room to onboard 4 new clients this month, you have to tell people. If your pricing increases next month because your costs have increased, you need to tell people. If your cold plunge system has a manufacturing cap and you can only make 500 more units this quarter, tell people. If your supplement brand only produces fresh inventory once per month and the current batch is about to go, you got to tell people. So none of those things that I just said are pressure tactics. It's literally just how your business works. The exact same thing applies to any kind of online product, whether that be an info product or whatever. So let's say you're selling a course, right? And you have an offer bump after they've read the sales letter. You have a countdown timer on that page and it's offering 30% off for the next 20 minutes. Now, a lot of you are probably cringing right now saying, oh, should I use this? Yes, you should use it. All of your competitors are using these age-old tactics. So if you decide to, opt out on some moral high ground, you are putting yourself at a disadvantage. You are not protecting your integrity. You are just giving away the opportunity to other potentially deceptive or worse quality businesses who are willing to communicate with their customers in that way. Now, as long as the offer genuinely expires, if the timer reaches 0 and then the customer no longer gets the discount, that is legitimate urgency. Now, if the timer resets every time someone refreshes the page, now you're lying. So, same goes for any kind of fake inventory warning, a fake only 2 left, fake price increases, evergreen sales that pretend, we'll end this in 24 hours, bonuses that don't actually disappear, whatever it might be. Regulators like the FTC, they don't target the use of urgency. They target misleading urgency. So you can influence behavior in basically any manner that you want. That is what marketing has always done. The issue is whether the underlying reason someone should act is actually true or not. And the last tactic we're going to talk about is the use of guarantees. So this is another thing that business owners are irrationally afraid of, especially agency and service business owners. This conversation usually goes like this. But what if someone abuses it? What if someone gets free work out of us? What if they ask for a refund? It's like, maybe, but the question that they're not asking is how many honest people did you turn away from your business because there wasn't enough certainty in the result or the process that you're presenting to the customer? We have so many business owners today that dramatically overestimate guarantee abuse, and they underestimate how many sales they lose because they're placing all of the risk on the buyer. Think about every time that you've ever bought something. When you are uncertain, you always ask, what happens if I buy this thing and it doesn't work out for me? If the company that you're buying from has a guarantee, there's your answer. Now, agency and service guarantees versus product guarantees should be approached very differently. Service work requires a lot of cooperation, budgets, market conditions, sales teams, a lot of variables sometimes far outside of your control, which means that your guarantee has to revolve around the things that you can control or that you're given access to within the engagement. So response times, delivery guarantees, performance guarantees, etc. Now, product businesses are a lot different. So your customer expects some form of guarantee or return policy because they're evaluating your product before they've experienced it in 2 ways. So first, regardless of type, whether it be a physical product, food product, software, piece of equipment, the guarantee reduces the perceived buying risk, right? It tells them, I am confident enough in my product to stand behind it. Now, context, this doesn't mean you need to make absurd, impossible promises though, crazy outcomes, we'll solve your acne in 5 hours, whatever. Secondly, your customers go through a literal evaluation period once they've received the product, right? There's a chance that they don't like it, and you need to protect your reputation above all else. Now, the general idea here is that weak marketing sucks because it's unspecific. Creating a strong claim and supporting that claim with evidence and a strategic offer timer is not manipulation. You are not lying to the customer. You are losing out to so many different businesses because you're just afraid to promise anything. Now, these businesses that are beating you aren't even beating you just because they're making, let's say, an absurd promise. They just make the strongest, truthful commitments they can, and they're confident enough to communicate exactly what they do. If you are afraid to communicate the value that your revolutionary business does, somebody who's less qualified, who potentially has ill intentions, but they're more confident than you, is going to steal your customers. Now, if this video helped you guys, you should leave a like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what topics you'd like me to break down next.